Hey guys, Ian Koniak, and today I'm going to talk about something that probably is counterintuitive, but I want to talk about the concept of having clients convince you that they need your product or service versus you trying to convince them that they need your product or service, okay? This is kind of reverse selling, if you will, and it's something I use very, very frequently in order to qualify people that I'm talking to and make sure they really actually need my services, which are coaching and training and sales development. And so my technique, or what I try to do, is I try to understand in my first call what is driving them right now to even consider training or coaching. In other words, find out what is not working right now that prompted you to take the meeting. Okay? So once they tell you what's not working, then the next thing you want to find out is why is it not working, right? Tell me why it's not working, or you want to dig deep and see if it's areas that you can help with. But once they tell you what's not working and kind of what their situation is, what you really want to go after next is, why do you need to change what you're doing? In other words, what is the impact of today's situation costing you? So maybe if it's, in my case, I'm selling training. So maybe sales are down and they're trying to raise money for a Series C or Series D fundraising. Maybe pipeline needs to be improved. Maybe it's their reps are leaving because they're not selling. Whatever it is, you need to find out, what is this current situation costing you today that's prompting you to need to make a change. Once you have those business drivers, once you have those negative consequences, then you really know that they need what it is that you're selling. So if you know that the consequences are huge right now if they don't do anything, that's going to make you much more effective with how you present. It's going to make you much more compelling with your presentations, because you could always go back to the cost of them staying the same. That's what we're really trying to get to, is if you don't do anything, what is the consequences for you? Okay. And then on the reverse side of that, I always like to ask, so I'll take them down a road of like telling me, hey, if we don't change, we're going to be screwed. I mean, that's the bottom line. You want people in their own words to tell you why they need to change what they're doing. All right. Before you ever get in your product or service or technical or demo or anything, make sure you understand the impact of not changing or not actually doing anything, right? Because that's really what you're selling against. In enterprise and software, you're selling against status quo, all right? And then once they tell you, hey, here's why we need to change, if it's compelling, then you want to go to, okay, well, let's say you do this and it's very successful and you do implement. What will this enable you to do that you can't do today? Okay, so the first line of questioning is, what's it costing you and why do you need to do something different? And the second is, if you do something different, what outcomes will that enable you to do? Okay, so you want to find that out at the company-wide level and at the individual level. What does it mean to you in your role if you're able to solve for this? So I really do hope this helps. It is the crux of why people buy. And then when you're convinced as a sales rep that they need your product and service, you are going to follow up religiously. You are going to go above and beyond, or go to whoever you need to get the message across, because you know they need what it is that you're selling. If you don't know that, you're going to feel like you're nagging them. You're going to feel like you're pushing them. But when you know you're helping them based on what they shared early on, and you know what's broken right now that they need to fix, you're going to sell, and closing is going to be the easiest part of the sale, because you always can go back to those critical reasons why they're talking to you in the first place. So get that information early on. If it's not compelling, if you're not convinced that they need it, okay, then they probably don't. So make sure you're convinced. Have them reverse sell you on why they need to change before you go and start your pitch and tell everybody how great you are and what your products. Just make sure you understand what's driving this and what are the consequences if they don't do anything. What's it going to cost them? And then what is the benefits, or what is the outcomes if they do change? In their words. I'm Ian Koniak. Thank you for listening.